Good evening, everybody. It's back to school time. Are we all ready to go? Do we all have our stuff ready to go? Have we done our back to school shopping? We've got a couple boxes back over here. They're starting to fill up with sharpened pencils, the, colored pencils, the markers, the crayons. We've got to go get some more stuff for the kids. But tonight on here is all about how to use your essential oils to support your kids and you as everybody goes back to school. And we're going to touch on just a few a few products tonight and how you can support everybody in the house as we go back to school, because it is a huge bonus to have these in your home. So feel free over in the comments to let me know you're on here. Say hi. I'd love to say hi back to you. Give me hearts, comments, make a comment, ask a question. That's what we're here for. But we're going to get started and talking about back to school oils, because really and truthfully, your kids are going to go back. Everybody's going to get a little grumpy at the beginning as they transition back. And maybe they're going to be excited, maybe they're going to be grumpy. My kids are going to be grumpy. That's why I'm saying that. But when you kick off the day, any day, you're going to want to make sure that they are having a great morning. Now, if your kids are like my kids, they have gotten really, really accustomed to sleeping in. So getting back up and getting started in the morning might be a little bit of a challenge. So I'm going to you're going to want to have one of these. Now, you don't have to get a pedal diffuser. Any kind of diffuser will work, but I love the pedal diffuser. I also love the aroma light, but I didn't grab that out of my room because that one's in my room. But this one I stole out of my daughter's room. This is the pedal diffuser. So we're going to talk about how this one works real quick. So you've got the pedal diffuser. Obviously, the top comes off. You pour water in here, okay? As you can tell, it's a little dirty. It gets a lot of love. You pour water into the top of the dot. And then you're going to drop 4 to 6 drops of oil in here. That's about all it takes. 4 to 6 drops. So I can spin this back around so it looks all pretty, like it's for marketing and all that stuff. And then see these buttons? You've got buttons on the front. Let's turn this around. So you've got a light button. That turns the light on or off. So if you're going to put this in a kid's room, it's really nice because it can double as a night light, and that's what we use them for as well. So it diffuses for sleep as a night light. But it also has it runs 1, 2, and 4 hours. See that? And it says mist on the other side. So the other side says mist. So you can have it run for 1, 2, or 4 hours. So in the mornings, I'm going to give you this little suggestion that works beautifully. Put some water in it, and then many of you probably have these oils if you have been in doTERRA for a while, because these are just fantastic oils. Peppermint comes in just about every kit we've got, and wild orange. You're going to take 2 drops of each of these and put it in this little diffuser, and it's a perfect little wake me up. It'll help gently, 20 minutes before you need them to get up, put that in. It'll gently wake them up. It'll help invigorate them because peppermint peps you up and wild orange makes you happy. So they're going to start their day off feeling a little bit better and a little bit happier. If you want to make it a little easier on yourself and give it a little bit more boost, I'm going to suggest Motivate. Motivate's got clementine, peppermint, a little vanilla, a few other oils, but it truly will motivate everybody to get up and moving. So this one goes in the diffuser a lot in our house, especially in the mornings when you got to get stuff done. This one went in the diffuser today because I had stuff to get done. The kids are not here, and I needed to get my butt a-bugging around this house. So Motivate went in the diffusers, and I got stuff done. But it's a great wake up to get people moving in the morning. So get them started off on a great day with peppermint wild orange. Now, you want them to have good nutrition. So you're going to start them off with a great breakfast, but they also are going to need to have their vitamins. So, A to Z's. These are perfect for kids. They have all the nutrients. So they take 2 of them. They've even got little happy faces on them. You can't really see it in the picture. But A to Z vitamins, you take 2 for ages 4 and up. If you've got kids that are under the age of 4, cut the dose in half. Now, ideally, you take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. I'll be perfectly honest. I can't remember to do that with my kids. I can't remember to give them 1 at breakfast and 1 at dinner. For some reason, it just skips my mind when we're trying to get dinner and all the other activities. So they get 2 in the morning. But they start their day off with this. They get a good, healthy vitamin. It's whole food. It absorbs well into their system. And, you know, it's just the way it will get into their bloodstream, and they will actually absorb it. If your kids have been taking a gummy, like a Flintstones or anything like that, take a look at the sugar content. It's very high. Sugar helps to feed all the other stuff that you don't really want in your gut. So you're taking this vitamin that you're trying to help your body feel better, but then you're adding all this sugar, which is feeding the stuff that you don't really want in your body. So it's kind of fighting, you know, they're fighting forces, but they taste really good. You don't find that in here, but it does have a really good watermelon flavor, and my kids say it tastes like cookies. But it is going to be more of a chewable vitamin, so your kids are going to have to get used to it a little bit. Mine did, and they happily take it. There's also a fish oil that I have left in the refrigerator, and hopefully my trusty assistant will bring it to me as I talk about PB Assist next. But PB Assist is our probiotic for kids. It is the Pixie Stick. You have these little sachets, and they look, he is so awesome. He just shows up and things are amazing. What a good assistant he is. Everybody give him thumbs up. So, PB Assist. Studies have been shown that kids who have good gut health and are on a good probiotic get sick a whole lot less. There's just numerous studies that are out there that talk about this. It works for adults too. So if you're an adult and you're not on a probiotic, you need to be on one. And we have one called PB Assist. This one's called PB Assist Junior. Now, I'm going to say these are pretty tasty, so I know plenty of adults who like to take these too. There's 30 in a box, which equates to 1 a day. So you just clip the top. I mean, it has a little tear thing, but I will say I cut the top because I don't find that it tears very well. Cut the top, down the hatch, and you're good to go. So they travel really well. You can put them in their lunchbox if you don't want to give it to them in the morning. But my kids just get all their stuff out of the way and eat their breakfast. But these taste, they have it's a strawberry melon flavor. It's very tart. It's very tart, just like a Pixie Stick. But there are 5 strains and 5 billion live cells in this patented, designed little ball. And they are designed that they will not actually break down in the stomach. They will break down in the intestines, which is exactly where you want the probiotics to break down. Most probiotics that are out on the market get killed in the stomach because of the stomach acid, which does you no good. If you have dead probiotics in your stomach, well, they're not actually doing their job. They have to get into the area of the intestines to make that gut flora thrive and do its job. So you need it to deliver. Location means everything. And this is patented that it does that. It gets to where it's going. And it tastes good. So your kids aren't going to fight you. And like I said, I kind of like the taste of it too. I know plenty of adults that are kind of like, oh, these are yummy. I'll just take this. And I'm like, there's an extra strand in the adult version. So I take, the adult version. And actually my middle daughter, she's all about the pill form. So she thinks she's high and mighty. So she takes the pill form. But IQ Omega goes along with this to give you a complete vitamin for kids. So if you're an adult and you're taking LLV, which you all should be, because that is one of the best supplements out there, this is basically LLV for kids. So it's a teaspoon that your kids take, and it tastes like wild orange. So you've got the wild orange flavor of your omega-3 fish oil. It's a balance of omega-3s, omega-6, and omega-9 that feed the brain. Your kid's brain is developing at a rapid pace, and it needs good, healthy fats to develop, because basically our brains are really just made up of healthy fats. If you're not feeding, if your kids aren't real high, they don't eat a lot of avocados, they don't like a lot of salmon and fish and things like that, like my kids don't, then they need something like this to help feed their brain. Because you're not going to get it with, kind of standard kid food. And I'm not putting anybody's kids down for it. My kids don't like it either. So they get their supplements, because you can have a lot of, my kids will eat fruits and vegetables all day long. They won't eat avocado, but they'll eat fruits and vegetables all day long, but they're not going to eat the salmon. They're not going to eat the avocado. They're not going to eat those things. The IQ Omega is great to make into, there's French toast recipes that's great in smoothies. There's all kinds of different things on the doTERRA blog to use this and add it into. And you don't have to deal with the fishy flavor. So if your kids are into a good smoothie in the morning, throw a teaspoon of this in and they won't even taste it. You can hide this stuff all day long. And then they just take, their vitamin and the PB Assist, and they'll never know that they're taking IQ Omega. But their brain will know, their joints will know, and they'll have a better chance when they'll have less growing pains and better brain and heart and cardiovascular development, which is really good. That's what we want to do, because their little bodies are growing really, really fast. So we need to support that in the best way we can. But once they get to school, they love to share it all, don't they? It's so much fun. And then they bring it home for us. And that's just gross. That's all I'll say. It's just gross. So my kids, they go to school every day with a drop of On Guard on each foot. And we started doing this long before we were true believers in doTERRA. I read about this oil. I kind of looked into it, and I thought, this is something we're dealing with. When we got started in doTERRA 4.5 years ago, it was a two parents working out of the house. Now I do this full time. And so I don't get exposed as often as I used to, but my husband still does. And my kids are now in school, so they get to bring all that stuff home. But we had 2 kids, we had a child in daycare, and we got to understand and appreciate all the things that came with that, having a child in daycare. So she was always having issues that you would get in a daycare setting, with kids sharing different coughs and sniffles and all these different things. And she took a hard hit with it. So as we were dealing with this, and over and over and over at the doctor, and this oil was shared with us, I thought, we'll see what happens. I don't know that these things are going to really work that well for us, but, why not? What can it really hurt? Well, I'll tell you, one drop on each foot from her age of 3.5 till now 8, and the kid very rarely ever gets sick. She might get a touch of a cold or a little sniffle here and there, but really and truthfully, she was at the doctor every month, and she was getting prescribed antibiotics every month with 2 surgeries, adenoids removed, and all kinds of things going on. And we just don't have that anymore. So if you have kids who are really constantly fighting something, I suggest starting On Guard on their feet before school starts. I mean, we are starting it now. On Guard, 1 drop on each foot. It really will help boost their immune system so that they have a better chance of fighting off all of the stuff that comes with being in close contact with that many kids. Now, the other thing that happens when you get back into school totally grosses me out. And that's lice. I mean, just the thought of it makes me itch. I mean, I just did that unconsciously. That was not staged. I mean, I say the word lice and I start to itch in places. Melaleuca is one of those oils. There's another one that I'm going to talk about here soon. Rosemary. Rosemary I have out for a whole different reason, but rosemary and melaleuca, you put them in the shampoo and they can help be a great preventative of getting lice. Isn't that cool? Because who wants that? It's nasty. But lice, lice is just one thing. Melaleuca can also help if you've got kids that are getting into sports. It can help keep those feet from getting pretty nasty. If they are playing a lot of sports where their feet are going to get sweaty and gross, you can keep their nails clear. You can help support any kind of scalp issues like we've talked about. But if they should get, come down and get, some kind of ick from sharing too much stuff at school, and they come down with the gunk, the very technical term, the gunk. Melaleuca works great in conjunction with On Guard to help support their body and help fight off many different things. So it's a great oil to help support that and help support their immune system. Emotionally, Melaleuca can also help disrupt if they have a tendency to get worried and kind of fixed on something. It can kind of help disrupt those negative thought patterns. So if you have somebody that's just thinking just negative thoughts a lot, Melaleuca is a great one to go up and down the spine. So in that thought process, if they are nervous about starting school, and that big first day is coming along and you're thinking to yourself, they are so worried and this is just not going to be good. The next combo I have for you is one that anybody that suffers with anxious feelings of uneasiness, this is one you should all write down. And it is balance and serenity. Let me move it here. Balance and serenity. You can layer this one up. If you're just feeling a little bit anxious, start with just balance. My kids go to school every day with just a little bit of balance right on the back of their neck. And even through the day, I will, as they get a little bit crazy or wild or mouthy, we apply some balance to help them become more centered, more present, and more in the moment. And that's what balance will do. And it helps you just to kind of relax and be more here and now. And if their moods are kind of going up and down and up and down and up and down, balance kind of evens it out to make you more balanced. That's why it's called balance. But if that's not quite enough and you need that extra oomph to really calm those anxious feelings down that they are just really freaking out about going to school, layer some serenity over the top of it. So you can layer the serenity, places that you would want to do this, behind the ears, down the back of the neck and the spine, and even maybe on the wrists. over the heart, something like that. Serenity, this is also a great blend to diffuse at night. Back to that diffuser. Serenity is going to be one that you're going to want to have and put by the bed every night for, for good, serene sleep. That's why it's called Serenity. It is called the Restful Blend, and it will give